in immigration news, the White House is attempting to bring back the Obama-era Deferred Action. You may have read about it in the news. It was all over the news in the last day or two. And what happened, what's going on is this. President Biden, when he came into office, he said he reversed Donald Trump's rules. President Biden said he's going to start accepting new DACA applications, and he changed the rule without going through the regulatory process. He was sued by the Texas governor. There was a federal judge that stopped new DACA applicants from making new applications because Biden didn't follow the rules that are required to change regulations and rules in the U.S. government. Similar to when President Trump tried to end the DACA program and did not follow the regulatory rules to end the program. That's why DACA survived Trump. And then Biden did the same dumb thing and tried to change rules without going through the regulatory process. And that program to accept new DACA applications was turned down because he didn't follow the rules. Did the same thing that Donald Trump did.
So when they do this,
so now that's why immigration's not accepting new DACA applications. Now today, Biden is now following the rules. Okay, he has to go through a 60-day comment period for people to comment on whether this is a good rule or a bad rule. There's a process to go through, but he is starting the process of allowing new DACA recipients to file for DACA. That process is going to take months. So if you have not been in the DACA program but want to file for the DACA program, you're going to wait probably 3 or 4 months before immigration is able to accept new applications. Biden is now following the regulatory process. It's a 60-day comment rule, and then after that, a final rule will be published, and then new DACA applications will be able to be accepted. So that's what's going on in DACA news. So hopefully sometime over the winter, those young adults who came here as children who have yet to file for DACA will be able to do it. The state of Florida is suing President Biden's administration over its policies regarding the southern border. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and Florida Attorney General Ashley Moody announced the lawsuit today at a news conference in Fort Myers. DeSantis and Moody said the state is being negatively impacted by the federal government's catch and release immigration policies, and that Biden is pushing immigrants that they catch and then release at the border towards Florida. DeSantis said, I think this is intentional. I think this is ideological. They want massive illegal migration into this country. I don't know what's going to happen with this lawsuit. I just think it's a lot of politics, Vanessa.
I'm still figuring out my whole Floridian political stance, but I see these conversations amongst my peers here in Florida all the time. I don't agree with this one. I still don't know how I feel. I bumped into someone and they're like, oh, you're from Florida, you have like the best governor or whatever. And I'm like,
Well, it depends what political stand you take. You have the best governor if you want to make America great again.
Right.
And if you don't like wearing that stupid red hat, maybe you don't have the best governor. Depends on what side of the aisle you're on. He takes a lot of credit for, keeping Florida open during the pandemic when a lot of other states were closed. But, he's lucky he's the governor of Florida. Florida's having problems with COVID. They would have had a lot of problems because most of Florida is open, restaurants and everything else.
This is true.
So that's why he was able to get, I think, away with it, although a lot of people still dying in Florida. All right, so meanwhile, we have an update on the parliamentarian.
Oh.
The Senate parliamentarian who is the arbiter of whether or not Plan B to change the registry date, to do the 245I extension. She is the arbiter of whether or not is allowed to get into the reconciliation bill. She is going to be out for the next 2 weeks for treatment of stage 3 breast cancer.
Oh,
so that is correct. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell made the announcement to their respective caucuses on Tuesday. Now, she is expected, nevertheless, in the next 2 weeks, despite being out, to deliver several key rulings on what Democrats could put in to their reconciliation package in the coming weeks, as the majority party is still struggling to put the reconciliation package together. Now, that coincides with there's two bills in the House of Representatives that need to be passed. There's the infrastructure bill, which is $1 billion in infrastructure, which was already passed by the Senate, which the moderate Democrats want to pass. The progressive Democrats say they're willing to pass it, but they want the $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill. And they want that reconciliation bill to be voted on with the infrastructure bill. The reason is they want to withhold their support for the infrastructure until they get support for the things that they want, that the progressives want, such as government assistance for child care, paid leave, free community college, programs to combat climate change and to expand health insurance access, and of course, the registry, the 245I, and the other immigration-related bills. They want that to be voted on in conjunction with the infrastructure bill, because they feel that if they withhold their support for the infrastructure bill, they can use that as a bargaining chip to get others to support the $3.5 trillion reconciliation package. Now, all of this has a monkey wrench now, because the parliamentarian's going to be out for 2 weeks, and that coincides with Nancy Pelosi, who probably knew before it became public that the parliamentarian is going to be out for 2 weeks, because it was recently announced a few hours earlier that they are going to move forward with the infrastructure vote in the House of Representatives this Thursday. Why is that important for immigration and the reconciliation? Because if the infrastructure passes on Thursday, there is less bargaining chips that the progressives can make. It's going to make the reconciliation package a smaller package. That doesn't necessarily mean it's going to make immigration different, because I believe that the moderate Democrats and the progressive Democrats both want this immigration package to pass. It may make other things in the reconciliation package, such as paid family leave, free college, expanded health care, legislation to combat climate change, those things could be pared down, and the progressives may not get as much as they want. Again, we also have to wait what happens with the parliamentarian. Obviously, she's now sick. That puts a monkey wrench in it. So it looks like right now, as a result of all of this, it looks like the infrastructure bill is going to be voted on Thursday. The progressives are not going to vote in favor of it. So that means that Nancy Pelosi is betting that there is a group of moderate Republicans who will also vote for the infrastructure bill. They're not going to get full Democratic support on this. Just like there was 13 Republican senators who voted for it. And I believe that Nancy Pelosi is a smart lady and would not put it up for a vote if she didn't think at least some Republican support to pass it. What that's going to ultimately do is it's going to pare down over the next 2 weeks the reconciliation package from $3.5 trillion to something less than $3.5 trillion. Maybe it'll be $2.5 trillion. Maybe it'll be a $2 trillion package. There will ultimately be a reconciliation package, but now the bargaining power will definitely head towards the moderates, especially now since the parliamentarian can't rule on many of the provisions that they want to put in the reconciliation package anyway. And by the way, the final vote is in, Vanessa. After the recount, Joe Biden still won Arizona.
Oh, are we still talking about
We're
that?
still talking about it.
Come
They
on.
did a recount, and it turns out that Biden actually gained 261 votes.
Oh.
He won by more votes than previously thought. And despite all of this, I believe, despite all of this, what is the percentage of people? 6 out of 10 Republicans still believe that the election was stolen from Donald Trump.
Gosh.
Would you believe that?
I don't believe that they really believe that.
Well, they really believe it. 6 out of 10 Republicans believe, even after the recount, confirming what was already known.
Crazy.
Is that crazy?
Yes.
And by the way, this recount was done by the cyber ninjas who were hired by the Republicans because it's a Republican county. So if anything, they would skew towards Trump than Biden.
Right, right.
And they found more votes for Biden than previously even thought. Rudy Giuliani, your friend Rudy Giuliani. He's your friend, this guy? Not really.
Absolutely not.
He's been banned from Fox News in a sad state of affairs for Rudy.
Bad.
Yeah, he has been banned from.
Oh, wow.
He's been banned from Fox News, and the reason he was banned from Fox News, no one has said exactly why, but probably because of all of the lies he told about the fraudulent election that wasn't fraudulent. Now Fox News is being sued by Dominion Voting Systems, which manufactured the voting machines that are used in most of the states around the United States. Fox News is being sued for over $2 billion, I think, for libel and slander, in which allowing Rudy Giuliani and several other Trump supporters to come on and say that the election was stolen from Donald Trump, partly because Dominion rigged their machines in favor of Biden. So now, as a result of this lawsuit, Giuliani has now been banned from ever appearing on Fox News.
Ever?
Ever.
Oh, wow.
At least in the near term. At least in the near term.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, well, I don't watch Fox News anyway, so who cares?
Right.
Is this going to bother you at all, Vanessa?
I think I might be okay.
I'll be okay. But it's poor Rudy that can't be on Fox News anymore. Anybody crying for him? Vanessa, are you crying for Rudy Giuliani? No.
Gonna have to say negative with that one again.
Negative on both.
Yeah.
Okay, and finally, in coronavirus news, because we're still in the middle of a pandemic, our friends at the Johns Hopkins University now report 42.9 million confirmed coronavirus cases in the United States of America. And that's, by the way, I mean, at what point, I wonder, do we get to like a herd immunity? If 60-70% of Americans are at least vaccinated, at least one shot, and 42 million more, some of whom have already been vaccinated like me, have had COVID, I wonder at what point we get to herd immunity, between the people who are vaccinated and the people who had COVID.
At this point, I don't think there ever will be a point.
I don't know.
You can't catch it twice. Have we heard of any cases?
You can catch it twice because your antibodies eventually go down. But the fact that you've had COVID or the fact that you're vaccinated, if you catch it a second time, it's not as deadly.
Right.
It's not as severe. And certainly the likelihood of catching it is extremely low, but not non-existent. Meanwhile, if you had 2 Pfizer shots already and you are over the age of 65, you're immunocompromised, or you work in a job that puts you in contact with lots and lots of people, you are authorized to get a third Pfizer booster. The million-dollar question is, what about the people who had Moderna?
Right.
What about the people who had Johnson & Johnson? Well, the people who had Johnson & Johnson like me, we don't know yet. Nor do the Moderna people know. Although Dr. Fauci has said that in the next 2 to 3 weeks, the U.S. will be advising people who had the Moderna shot, as well as the Johnson & Johnson shot, what they should be doing regarding a third booster.
Well, yours is only a second booster.
Mine would be a second. Mm-hmm. Are you looking forward to a booster shot?
Hell no.
No.
Especially if it makes me feel the same way I felt. How'd you feel, Nesquik, like with your second one?
No, I was good.
You were fine?
Again, it was just like a little arm soreness, but
you're lucky.
No, second one. No, I think the second one, I didn't even make the show one day. Just kidding.
Yeah.
With
yeah, it was the first one that you didn't really feel anything.
Yeah, the first one, but the second one, it caught up to me.
It messed me up, y'all. It messed me up. I ain't gonna hold you. It messed me up. I did not feel good.
Like we said at the top of the show, R&B star R. Kelly convicted yesterday in New York following a 6-week-long trial. A jury of 7 men, 5 women found the 54-year-old guilty on all 9 counts of sex trafficking. Kelly was also convicted of criminal counts accusing him of violating the Mann Act, which makes it illegal to take anyone across state lines for immoral purposes. The charges date back decades, stem from 6 complaining witnesses, including the late singer Aaliyah, called Jane Doe number 1 by prosecutors. Kelly, whose real name is Robert Sylvester Kelly, did not take the stand during his trial. He has been in prison since his arrest in July 2019. Sentencing is scheduled for May 4th, 2022, and he faces at least 10 years and could possibly face life in prison. And of course, his attorney said they would be appealing. It's the whole thing is trifling is not even the word.
Look at that. That's a picture of him and Aaliyah when she was underage.
You know, and
so it's disgusting.
It's sad because, you know, he had an entourage of managers and aides
that didn't say nothing.
They didn't say anything. It was almost like they were helping him.
So that's what I'm saying. So I feel like, no shade, like, of course he deserves all of everything that's happening to him, but I think that there's a lot more people that should be in trouble as well. Like, I feel like the parents of the underage girls should get something, because I don't think that, you know, like, I'm thinking about me or like my sister. My parents wouldn't have allowed her to just go at the age of 13 on tour with him.
He got charged with racketeering because it was like almost like an organized crime, because his entourage was helping him.
So and then the entourage that was helping him, why aren't they, like, they should get in trouble as well?
They may very well. I wouldn't be surprised if they're next. I would not be surprised.
I feel like there's so many more people that should, because it's not right. You know, it's not right. It's disgusting. And if they help, then they should get in trouble as well.
One of them got immunity from prosecution, Demetrius Smith.
And that's because what he was telling
he testified, that Kelly illegal 1994 marriage to the late singer Aaliyah, who was then 15. They did that after he began a sexual relationship with her and believed she had become pregnant with his child.
Yeah.
And you want to know what also? He was found innocent in 2008 by a jury that deliberated 8 hours, and he was found innocent of 14 counts of possessing child pornography. And I think after he won that case, and because of his fame and everyone telling him how wonderful he is, you almost feel like you're invincible.
Invincible. That's right? What I feel like he felt.
Yeah, he felt he was invincible. And I don't, you know, it's been reported that he himself, which is also sad in a way, that he himself was the victim of child abuse as a child himself. And it's usually those that are sexually abused as children, sometimes end up being sexual abusers as adults.
Yeah.
And that's sad that he himself didn't get the help.
Yeah.
Just sad all around, because he was a wonderful talent otherwise.
Oh, brilliant.
But being a wonderful talent doesn't give him the right to do what he did.
So I do have a question. Now, this is probably for Nesquik and the squad, because I doubt Brad listened to R. Kelly. But I do actually want to ask, like, for those who are big fans of R. Kelly's music, because his discography is brilliant. Like, this man is brilliant when it comes to music. Is it wrong to still listen to his music? I mean, you can still answer even if you don't like or know about his music. Like, say it was one of your favorite artists.
If you listen to his music, if you listen to it on a streaming service or whatever, or you download it, I mean, he is earning money even in jail from you listening. If they play it on the radio, he does get a royalty from it. You know,
and remember, we grew up with these songs too.
There are people who can separate the two, and if you can separate, you know, listening to a song versus listening to the artist, the person. He's a butcher for all, you know, who sang it. There's others who can't. There's others who can't separate the two.
He's so canceled.
He's canceled.
I can't listen to "Step in the Name of Love" with Love anymore. Like, I can't listen.
So my thing is,
I can't cancel Michael. I can't cancel Michael.
Oh, no, Michael ain't do nothing. You can't cancel him. Listen, I will stand by MJ. He ain't do nothing. But listen, I say that to say, so how about the people that worked with R. Kelly, that knew about, these allegations? There's so many artists that we listen to, like Kelly Rowland from Destiny's Child. There's so many people that he wrote for and produced. He's a big producer and writer as well. So, like, how about those people who worked with him? So it's kind of like, a trickling thing, it kind of goes down the whole hill. Like, if you're going to cancel him, why won't we cancel all the other big time artists that he's worked with? I just, devil's advocate, just want to throw the conversation in.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I want to listen to him anymore. I mean, there's I forgot his name. I was just trying to Google. I forgot their name. There was a composer, a favorite composer of Adolf Hitler.
Oh.
Yes. And he has the songs that you would hear in classical music, Wagner, yes, that you would hear in classical music that people love. But it was a favorite. He was German, and he was a favorite composer of Adolf Hitler. And there are Jewish people to this day who can't listen to his music because it represents the Holocaust and Nazism and everything. Other people, they don't care. They listen anyway.
Yeah, so I'm over here reading in the comments because, like I said, I asked the squad because I would like to know. Fiona Williams says, I'm still going to listen to his music. I can separate. Sisha Mitchell says, I can still listen to the music. Joan Erica was like, I have no idea what he sings until people start telling you what he's saying. Like what Nesquik said, Step in the Name of Love. She's like, oh, I know Step in the Name of Love.
Right.
I Believe I Can Fly. That's a huge Space Jam song. That's a huge song. There's so many songs out there. But Cynthia Wallace saying, I don't listen anymore, sorry, in caps. So, it's mixed. I can still listen because I grew up with the music and, I don't support him. But if his song come on, I might do a little two-step.
Just a PSA, because we were looking for her earlier. Cordella Douglas is on YouTube, and she's having some grapes while she's watching the show.
Ooh,
okay.
grapes!
Very good. And the only all right. Well, we'll talk about Cordella's thing tomorrow. Going on is, did you see Tiffany Haddish?
Yes.
All right. She says she doesn't want a ring. She wants real estate.
I respect that.
Yeah, on her podcast with Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes, and Will Arnett, she's dating Common. She says, they present you with a ring. I want him to present me with the deed to a duplex or a 36-plex. Present me with an apartment building.
There you go.
What do you think of that?
So, okay, Nesquik, you want to answer first?
Why did you love that?
Because
is giving somebody an apartment showing you love them more than giving a ring?
Let her say.
What does it show more?
I mean, I could lose the ring.
But it's insured.
I have an answer for me.
Tell your answer.
Believe. So I know about Tiffany's past. She's from LA as well.
That's where I was gonna go.
Right, she's from LA.
I read her book.
Exactly, and she struggled to get into the industry. She worked her butt off. She had like a small LA house that she was paying off, and even when she got famous, she was still paying it off. She did not sell it because she wanted that little land. That was hers. So when you come from nothing and like you're literally just making it in your 40s, you appreciate, like
what happened to love?
What is?
But that doesn't mean he loves her.
Just because of a ring?
Versus buying an apartment, a ring.
That's generational.
By the way, diamonds are as valuable as real estate. It's not like diamonds are less valuable.
But then she can help people as well.
Diamonds are just as valuable. And by the way, a diamond is easier to turn into cash than real estate.
But maybe she doesn't care about that.
Also the same woman that wore the same dress
for 2
years because she didn't care. Like
that's the type of person. Yeah, she says
gown. She spent a ton of money on it.
She spent $10,000 on that dress, and she said, "I'm going to wear that." I respect it. She
lived out of a car. Her story. Right. That's exactly when I heard this.
So what really matters is what Common thinks. And I know we have a video of what he said, and that's what really matters. If the person that she loves and he loves her says that they agree with it, then case is closed.
Oh yeah, if they're all happy, it's fine. What do we care? It's not our life. All right. All I know is, whoever you are out there, when I get married again, you're getting a ring. Thanks for watching. For more Bradshaw Live, like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.